In 2022, company Fanatics purchases top trading card company for $500 million. Wow, I grew up with Tops. When I was younger, I would go to the Walgreens or the local grocery store to pick up trading cards with my favorite movies and shows and sitcoms just so I could keep up. And it was always a fun part of collecting, passing by right where the candy bars were and to check out to see which card packs were available. I collected many over the years, including some from E.T. and Mork and Mindy, even Batman and the like. And trading cards were a part of my childhood and a big part of the 80s and early 90s when I grew up. Today, a lot of young adults collect Pokemon cards, different cards that relate to video games. So the culture has really changed over the years. And as I look through the headlines and articles, it's interesting to note that Topps trading cards will now be a part of Fanatics. And they also make memorabilia, collectibles, and also apparel for a lot of the sports teams. But this is a trip to memory lane. And this is what we're all about here at Time Travel Comics, is taking a look at the past and seeing where it is in the future. Over the decades, Topps Trading Card Company acquired plenty of licenses and rights to movie titles and TV shows that we know and love. At the time of the 80s and 90s and even earlier, it was a way to compare the movie and see and catch up with it in a way that was outside the movie screen or the TV. It was simply collectible. And watching movies and TV shows and turning over the back to see some descriptions and colorful artwork was a lot of fun. Now we have to talk about the history of Topps trading cards because it dates back to when they used to sell tobacco in 1938. The company was actually called American Leaf Tobacco and distributed throughout the country right before the Depression. But when the Depression hit, things went a little south. They stopped distributing tobacco and thought to rebrand themselves, and they sold chewing gum. At the time, Wrigley Spearmint was starting to take effect and other candies and gum was being sold, so that's what Topps did. They wanted to be the tops in their industry. That's how they got their name. It was a family-owned business. They did what they could. They already had the distribution to sell in different parts of the country, and they sold Bazooka Chewing Gum. And they were wrapped with a comic, and that's where we are always about talking about comics here at Time Travel Comics, that there was with a pack of gum. So eventually, in 1950, with the movie Hop Along Cassidy, a Western featuring cowboys and a lot of action, the company Topps decided to pack a piece of gum with some movie picture cards. And that gave birth to the trading cards. And eventually, in 1952, baseball cards came along. And I have my collection here, and I started out as young, just collecting and looking through stores, just like comic books and carousels. I looked at the different racks to see where the baseball cards were and where the trading cards were. So we're going to use our trusty time machine here. I have some coins in my pocket, some tokens for our machine to explore in the 70s and 80s and early 90s. We're even going to look for comic books produced by Topps. And they did have a short run in 1994. So that should be fun. So without further ado, let's get traveling. And here we go again. Our time machine revealed a pack of Bazooka Chewing Gum, and this is what started it all when Topps changed over to chewing gum. And this isn't an original piece of gum. It's from 1984, actually. And you can see the comic tightly wrapped around the stick. And this was just great. You have the best of both worlds, chewing gum and a comic. And just wanted to show you this unique part of history. So what they're more popularly known for are the card packs, which we're going to look and see and shuffle through. And just wanted to take a moment to show you how this works. So you would find this nice shiny wax wrapper. It would entice you to purchase it, or you would beg your mom for 25 cents to pick up a pack. And usually had 9 cards, 1 sticker, maybe 2, and always that stick of bubble gum. So opening up the back, you would kind of peel away and We would try to see, ooh, what card do I need for the collection, what pictures will be there, and that was a lot of fun. And there you can see now it's brittle. I wouldn't dare eat it, but it's 40 years old. And that was the chewing gum. So every pack had one. And then here are the picture cards. This one's a sticker of the Joker. Quite a nice one. Wow. This was also the closest thing to looking up a movie and finding pictures of it after you saw it. We didn't have YouTube or Netflix to revisit and see the movie again. So these images were just terrific. You can see the Batwing here, another still, and these were just wonderful. Just to put around and see, in the description in the back gave you a glimpse of what the scene was about, and also they were numbered in the corner, so you always kind of knew where you were looking. And this one even has some artwork from the comic book, so these were just great. And look at that right there. And of course the Joker. So just wanted to show you how these trading cards work. We used to beg our mothers and parents just to get us another pack for 25 cents, and they were just great. We're going to go through a sampling of the Topps trading cards. I have some complete packs here that are sealed, and I just like the artwork on the covers. Just the wax appealed to it, and these are unopened, and they're just great. E.T., Dick Tracy, comic book. So you can see a correlation between the trading card and movies and also comic books. So that's always a good thing. So I'm going to set these aside here and we'll move them there. I'm going to bring this white sheet of paper just so we could see it better on the background, the different packs that we have in the collection. So this is my collection. I keep it in a Millibit cheese crate. They used to sell cheese on the East Coast in these little crates, and it just perfectly holds all these cards. So it's great. So I keep them there. And we'll see this one here, Rock and Roll, Cyndi Lauper, comes with 3 cards. And of course, a stick of bubble gum and 3 stickers. Just great. This was $4 I picked up at a trading card store. And it's just great. We're just going to take a little perusal and we'll see what it takes us. I Love Lucy. This is actually not by Topps Trading Cards. It's by Pacific, and it's in the logo there. But this is from 1991. Just great one. Ricky Ricardo driving. Just look at that. Just really pops. The artwork, the fun. Back to the Future. This is definitely Topps, and the hit movie. Beautiful. Wow. Traveling in time. That's what we do. And this was just all the rave back in the day to see that movie. We have 21 Jump Street, 3 cards there, hit TV show. This is where we're getting into some shows now, and it's just a great artwork. It's just fun. It's just wonderful. Ricky Martin, back before he was famous, was Menudo. 10 cards here and a sticker. You can see the gum is in there as well. So yeah, they even had trading cards for Menudo. And of course, one cannot leave the 80s without E.T. There are a lot of these cards too. Just wonderful. Nice pack. There's that Bazooka gum right there. And these were mostly, for the most part, created in Pennsylvania. There's Batman. Roger Rabbit. Special sticker inside. You can still find some of these today at different hobby stores or trendy stores. If I look around, I try to pick some up. 1978. This is the older logo. You can see the newer logo. So there's Topps trading cards for you. Also some Dick Tracy, a nice profile view. Side by side with Dallas. Another sitcom. And some of these were on the shelves for just a short amount of time. Then the next show would come on, and then the retailers would take them off, and then sometimes it was hard to find them again. I remember looking for some particular ones of the Ninja Turtles when I grew up and just couldn't find them, and not even baseball card companies and stores or hobby shops had them. This is from Pacific, Rad Dudes, a little bit more generic. See that 1980s appeal with the glasses and the boombox. There you have it, the King, Elvis, bubblegum cards. This is from, this is actually not from Topps, it's from Donruss. Yeah, Donruss right there. Super bubble. But look at that artwork. Look at even the lights too. Moving into more modern context, New Kids on the Block, another Topps pack right there. Very fun. Let's see the barcode. Topps Company, Duria, Pennsylvania. Printed and made in the USA, 1989. These are fun, kind of an answer to some of the Garbage Pail Kids with snotty sign stickers. I don't have too many Garbage Pail Kids. We're probably waiting and seeing where are those. They're awesome. They have a lot of different series. But I do have this one, and it's really fun. It does look like the Garbage Pail Kids. And this is also from Topps, 1986. Nasty Tricks, another kind of spoof on another card set that had different products like Tide and laundry detergents and soaps, and they would make funny little parodies of that. So this is similar to that. Use them everywhere. Get your fake FBI badge. Just move some of these away so we can clear the way for more. These are just great. Just looking through and enjoying Superman 3 when they had their movie coming out. They had the rights from DC Comics in 1983. Just wonderful. Ring Pop made its debut. You can also find these in some of the Marvel comic books, some advertisements for Ring Pop. This is not a Topps one, but it's Bingo by Pacific, another trading card company. Fright Flicks, scary cover. It's also by Topps. Let's see, what year was this? This was back in 1988. So a lot of these are in the late 80s, late 70s for some of them. One can't go without showing Elf and special Bula Baseball card inside. And also, this one was from 1987. Good old Alf. And none other than Knight Rider, Don't Hassle the Hoff, David Hasselhoff, and his amazing car with red laser lights that would go back and forth, and the car would speak to him. See that action there. Just like comic books, guys. I mean, it's just the same thing. It's just wonderful. This was from Donruss, another baseball card company. Could be a spin-off from Topps. I have to take a look. But there we have that one. Just nice orange and red. Pac-Man. Now we're getting into some video games. These are more rare. They weren't too many. Flair is the card company. They came from the early 80s when it came to be. And there's the title 1980. Midway Games manufactured. Midway was founded in Chicago. And we have Pac-Man. And the Ghost you have to collect. They always get away from me. Video game Nintendo made its debut in the United States in the mid-80s. And sticker cards came to be in scratch-off. These did not include a pack of gum, but just like a lottery scratch-off, they were for kids. So it wasn't the parents were getting their kids into gambling. It was just told the story of you scratch off to advance to the next level. And if you miss or get a game over, that's when then you have to try again. You moved on to your next card. So these were action stills artfully drawn from the video games. It included some stickers from Punch-Out and, of course, our flagship hero Super Mario. So I enjoyed these as a kid. In the late 80s, I would try to pick these up. I didn't really scratch them off because I just liked the artwork on the card. I didn't want to ruin them, but now these are becoming more collectible as people are enjoying video games a lot more and the nostalgia. So this is just great. Pac-Man, Super Mario, Nintendo tattoos, 25 cents. You can get a sheet of little 14 tattoos. They're very small. I didn't open this pack, but you can see the instructions how to put them on there, there, and there. So Nintendo making its way and with tattoos. These are more rare than the other packs here that you can pick up more easily, but just wonderful to see. Little Shop of Horror, just a great show. Little Shop of Horror is with the oversized plant that would always chant, "Feed me, feed me." And boy, did we feed quarters to buy these. 1986, right there. The Simpsons, of course, the Simpsons really made a big debut. And it's based kind of on comic book and comic book art, as the creator there is listed, Matt Groening. And these were just $5, but years ago, probably worth a little bit more now. And this was in 1990. I remember they used to be on Fox 32 here in the Chicagoland area, and I could never get it on to work on my TV. And so I kind of missed out on that. And I don't know if I'm glad I did because they're kind of crazy. Video City. These were just some highlights of the main video games back in the day. And it had different ones like Galactica, Xenon, and just showed some of the video game stills from then. But this is a nice pack, nice shiny white wax cover rather with that joystick. Oh, we saw Elvis, so why not throw in Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta? This is actually from Donruss, not Top. And there, we can put that there, just a nice cover. And side by side with Elvis. How about that? So you name it. If it's musical, if it's video game, or if it's movie like Rambo, you had a trading card for it. And you could just see the art, the grittiness, the kind of like the four-color print type of look to it. It's not glossy and computer generated by any means. And this one is 1985, Rambo. 8 picture cards, 1 stick of bubble gum, of course, and a sticker. You're getting your money's worth. The best 25 cents money can buy. Growing Pains, another show. Used to enjoy watching coming home from school. Sometimes on a Sunday night, Growing Pains would be on. It's just about family life and always the values therein. And this was actually, as we can see, let me see the date there. I'm looking for it. I want to say 1990 or 1988 rather. It's right there. So Growing Pains, little caricature of everybody. The Return to Oz, so that's the little bit of a sequel to The Wizard of Oz. Walt Disney acquired the right to that, and there we have TikTok. And so there's some variations of this particular one with different characters. So this happens to have TikTok, Return to Oz, and these were in 1985. I remember watching it on TV once. I'm saying, this is a strange show. And then later on finding out it was about Wizard of Oz and the Return to Oz. Gremlins 2, don't get water near these. Just like you would never get water near your comic book, don't get water near the Gremlins. Otherwise, they will grow and you'll have a sequel. Gremlins 2, the new batch. And there is that pack right there. 1990. This is the era where Jurassic Park came out, Batman movies, more Superman movies, and Topps was right there, creating more cards. Our pile is growing like a small pyramid here. And Dinosaurs Attack is the next one. Look at that, a Brontosaurus versus a Triceratops. Yeah, Brontosauruses are typically herbivores, so they should leave each other alone. there's a person running away. Kind of reminds me of the Jack Kirby artwork where you have always that person running toward you in the comic book. 5 cards, 1 sticker, and of course bubblegum, 1988, so a little bit later in the 80s. Kind of winding down in our box, you could see it kind of empty here. And oh, this is what started it all for me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is one of the packs that I always tried to collect, and I do have a complete collection in another little bin. And this is what the cards look like. Yeah, this was a big deal, completing the movie sets and 1990. So just the last few cards we saw, like Gremlins and all from the 90s. 90s well represented here. And of course, the sequel, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, 8 movie cards here. And that wasn't far later, 1991. So just a year later, Ninja Turtles, this is the animated series, and how cartoony and fun they were. Sometimes the Ninja Turtles are more gruff, and especially in the Mirage comic version, the original, they're ninjas. They're dark and they fly by the night. And but these are always the fun Ninja Turtles that I just loved and just grew to love. Michael Jackson, just listened to Thriller moments ago, was on the radio. So how about that? A little homage to Michael Jackson. And this was from 1984. So the other ones were from the 90s, 1984. It kind of goes back to like Cyndi Lauper. This one was also 1985. So you can see that trend, 80s music, kind of immortalized in trading cards. I put them here. Just going through a few more. The Andy Griffin Show. This is by Pacific Card Company. This is the 3rd series, so oftentimes some of these card companies would go into a 2nd or 3rd series to sell more and also to show you new pictures. And then going on to Tiny Toons, 25-cent pack here. And these are also on TV, kind of afternoon TV shows, 1991. So that's it. A-Team, we got there. Mr. T, always with the gold chains, always greeting you with a stern attitude, really dishing it out. And yeah, this is also by Topps. And looking for the date on there, sometimes they're hard to find, or my eyes are going bad, either one. 1983, right here. It's a small number right there. So that's it, the A-Team, 83. And last but not least, during the 90s was Desert Storm. And of course, Topps covered everything from sports to TV shows to music, rock and roll, and video games. Why not throw in the Desert Storm? So this is a nice informational set about that. So yeah, that's the collection here, as I keep in my Millibit cheese crate. And let's see what else we can take a look at. I hope that you enjoyed the tour of the different card packs produced by Topps. And in the 90s, they explored comic books. So I'd like to transition now to show you the comic book, as we are, after all, time travel comics, and Topps' involvement with them. We have always produced cards, but in the 90s, a number of titles and comics were being produced at an all-time rate, and Topps wanted to get in the loop. So Mars Attacks, which we'll look at first, pays tribute to their card series released in 1962. An executive at Topps Card Company created them. His name is Len Brown, and he worked with Wally Woods to produce a 55-card series that was released. And at the time of this publishing, this book was produced in 1994, Topps Company wanted to release additional cards to Mars Attack. And Len Brown was inspired by Wally Wood's EC Comics number 16, Weird Science, and he collaborated and reached out to him to design this series, which Wally Woods agreed to. So the artwork is pretty gnarly with aliens attacking and a lot of flying saucers and laser blasts, but it kind of was a mischievous adventure for a lot of young kids. And this book comes complete with a story about a Mars invasion. It has two covers, one on the back and one on the front, and the Topps logo in the corner. So entering in 1993, 94, up until 1998, Topps Comics came to be. They also included concepts and designs by Jack Kirby, longtime Atlas and Marvel comic artist, and a Kirby Chrome series. This is a one-shot and the first of one to include Night Glider. And the artwork is actually created by Don Heck, just as it was written in the Silver Age, Dashing Donnie Heck. And this was later in his life. And Jerry Conway did the script, and Roy Thomas kind of helped that come to be. So it's based off of the concepts that were drawn and created by Jack Kirby. You can see some of the artwork there. Subscription to Topps Comics in the middle, and some of the other titles that Topps wanted that had licenses to was Jurassic Park. Gil Kane, pencils, Walt Simonson, who worked on Thor. So you have a lot of talent in their later years coming back to Topps to produce some books. And this was around the time where there were a lot of books in the 90s that ultimately led to a comic book crash. And it coincides with Topps' involvement. Topps worked feverishly to get different licensing rights from TV shows like The X-Files, Zorro, and Jurassic Park even. And this stunning cover here shows the action with the Raptors hijack and a gorilla. So you have a double gorilla cover and dinosaur cover. And he kind of looks like Harry Potter, but the artwork in here is all about the adventures and action that oozed in the pages of the 90s. So you can see some of the titles there coming in. The back cover, The Lone Ranger, Topps acquired the rights to that. So just like the cards that we see on the left side, the different licenses and rights, they also had for Topps. One of my favorite authors of science fiction is Ray Bradbury, and I have a couple copies here, issues number 1 and issues number 3 of the Ray Bradbury comics, and also includes, of course, in true Topps fashion, 3 exclusive trading cards in the bag here. It's just in the back, and you can see those cards right on the back cover here. I'm kind of sliding them there in both books. Jurassic Park. So Topps was there to show comic books. So you see that transition from the cards to the pages of comic books in the 90s. But up until 1998, the production ceased and decreased, and that was the end. So most comics had a couple cards packed in to keep up with the actual card industry too, because of the non-sports trading cards. But it was neat, from promoting their old cards of Mars Attack from 1962 and adding some additional ones. So it's pretty fascinating to note that. So starting out from bubblegum, adding in picture cards, and eventually making their way into comic books, that's what Topps did. Coincidentally, in 1994, Marvel Comics Group acquired the card company Fleer, the one that was based in Philadelphia, and they started producing cards as Topps was going from cards to comics. So it's an interesting switch. Marvel eventually filed for bankruptcy and had to relinquish Fleer Holdings to balance their budget and reconfigure when Marvel reached bankruptcy. So that's a little tangent, a little extra. between Marvel acquiring another card company, Fleer, and Topps going from being a card company to add additional comic books to the line. So I hope you enjoyed that, just to see the comic books that were produced by our beloved company that is taken over by Fanatic at this time in 2022. And that does it. That wraps up our tour of the comic books that Topps provided us, as well as the countless trading cards, beautiful wax covers showing movie artwork. It was just great. And to think it all started with a pack of gum, this Bazooka bubble gum right here, even with a comic on there. I want to thank you for watching as we looked at a number of items today. And as always, enjoy, and we'll see you next time.